waves here at the beaches. What emergency crews are saying you need to do today, coming up next. The waves are telling the story of what we are up against here this morning. High wind, heavy rain. We are still definitely feeling the effects of Tropical Storm Colin this morning. It's a red flag day at the Tampa Bay beaches. That means that it's hazardous conditions in the water, and emergency officials are warning about high possibility of rip currents this morning. They're asking that you stay out of the water. So far, no emergency rescues.
Donald Trump didn't have the largest rally that he's ever had here in the Tampa area. He didn't use a teleprompter. He pretty much stayed on the same sort of message that he's had in other rallies across Florida. But one thing he did focus in on in this rally was his attacks against Hillary Clinton.
This is hitting close to home now. My sister-in-law's niece was shot 6 times. She's in the hospital. She's stable, thank God. So I want to do my part. You know, we're in contact with them pretty often during the day yesterday, and it's just hitting our hearts. So this is the only thing we can do to help.
You just heard from Manny Alvarez. He was one of the first people in line here to donate blood. The only thing he could think to do after his relative was shot. And here you can see just how many people are flooding this lobby, waiting to do the exact same thing. We know 5 victims still in critical condition, but the hospital is saying their prognosis is good. We expect to hear from 2 of those victims coming up later on this morning, what their moments were like inside Pulse nightclub just a few blocks from where we are right now. It's still hard to believe what happened here. 49 people murdered, more than 50 others hurt.
You know, I listened to stories about somebody laying on the floor pretending to be dead, and the shooter walking by and putting more shots into people, making sure that they were dead.
Up until this point, we've only been able to see the Pulse nightclub sign. Now some of those barricades are coming down. We're only about a block from where that tragedy happened, and you can see still a massive law enforcement presence out here this morning. Orlando Health says 6 patients are still in the ICU. 1 or 2 of them are, in their words, profoundly ill. 5 of those victims still in critical condition, but the hospital says their prognosis is good. You can see here a makeshift memorial in front of the hospital. Later this morning, we're going to hear from 2 of those victims, what their moments were like inside Pulse nightclub, just a few blocks from where we are right now. The families of the shooting victims, they'll be able to come to this one stop for all of the help that they need. But it's not just for those families, it's for anyone who needs that help. They can come here to get it.
And that's what makes us so special as a community, as a country, because 9 out of 10 people want to do good and want to help. And those 9 out of 10 people and their love and their caring will overcome the evil that we find in 1 out of 10.
President Obama wants to console the victims without getting in the way. Of course, we'll be covering President Obama's visit tomorrow. We'll bring you updates on social media. Reporting live in Orlando, I'm Ashley Yore, ABC Action News. It's pretty much impossible to imagine what these families are going through right now. We expect Air Force One to land here later today when President Obama will pay his respects to the families torn apart by this tragedy. And in a rare move, Vice President Joe Biden will also be traveling to Orlando today to speak with families. This morning, the Tampa Bay community is still mourning our area's victims of the Pulse nightclub massacre. Tonight, 100% of the proceeds from the game will go to the Pulse Victims Fund. Now, if you didn't buy tickets, there's also a blood drive starting at 4 p.m. today. You can get tickets to a future Rays game if you donate blood.